What is good, my YouTube family? So to start off this cut, we're gonna go ahead and comb through the hair, and what this is gonna do is elevate it off of the scalp, so when we come in with our guard, and right here I'm using a 1.5 with the grain, it's gonna ensure that we have a nice smooth even cut. So right here I'm just following the wave pattern that he has set in, and I'm just going according to that, making sure that I'm not going against the grain in any way, shape, or form, because I do not want to leave any patches or forks in his waves, right? So I'm being very patient with it, just continuing to go with the grain and the wave pattern that he has set in. And right here I just grabbed my blow dryer and my brush, and I'm just trying to lay the hair back down as best as I can right now before I get into the fade. And now to start off the fade, I'm gonna go ahead and start it in the back, because I want this fade to have a nice drop towards the back, right? So I'm gonna start at the lowest point of the fade, and then I'm gonna go to the side and start my guideline right where the end of his eyebrow starts, and then I'm gonna drop it towards the back and connect it. And the reason I started in the back is because it's gonna help me to ensure that my guideline is nice, even and consistent all the way throughout the head, and that one side of the fade isn't higher than another, right? And you can see I'm just connecting it. And the reason I wanted to drop it towards the back is because I wanted his waves aren't like super busted right now, but I want that wave pattern to still be in there and not cut into it too much, right? So right now I'm just balding the rest of it out, letting the weight of the trimmer do the work so I do not cause any irritation. Now I've been cutting this client for a while, so I do use the shavers on him, but usually with curly hair clients I do not use the shaver. And now to get into the next step, I'm going to come in with my clipper all the way open, and I'm going to go up about a 1/2 inch to a 1 inch here. I would say about a thumb's width, and then I'm going to drop it towards the back. And as I drop this guideline towards the back, you're going to see that I make it just slightly thicker than the side guideline. And that's because in the back of the head we have a lot more canvas and surface area to work with, right? So you're gonna see me continue to brush the hair and just go over the guideline multiple times. And right here is where I'm making that guideline just slightly thicker, and that's just to help me have a nice transition and stretched out blend. And now right above that, I'm gonna come in with my one guard all the way open, again going up about a thumb's width to a 1 inch. And I'm just staying real consistent with it, following that same shape that dropped towards the back. And with this fade, he's not going to have any arches. It's just going to be a box in the front. So you're not going to see me line up his arches in this video, which is why it's just a little bit higher than normal. And now getting into the biggest guard that we're going to use, we're going to come in with our 2 guard all the way open. And right here, I'm just coming off the shape of his head, and I'm trying to blend into those waves as best as I can without creating any lines that are too harsh. So you'll see me just continue to go through the hair in every direction. So you'll see me go side to side, and then I'm going to brush it back down. And now right under that 2 guard open, I'm going to come in with my 1.5 open. And I'm going to go ahead and work at that line until it starts to lighten up as best as possible. And if the 1.5 open isn't doing the job, I'll go ahead and close the lever, and then that should do it. But you're going to see me continue to just go over the same spot over and over. And that's because with the waver, right, it just laid down curls. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm cutting against the grain and getting a nice even cut, so that way my blend is as consistent and as blurry as possible. So you'll see me continually brush the hair and lay it back down. And then I came back to my 2 guard all the way open, and right here I actually closed it, and I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit more because I created some lines with that 1.5. And I'm just working right here, right? I'm staying patient, even though it doesn't seem like it's cooperating. I'm staying patient and trusting the process that I have set in place. And now I'm going to come in with my one guard all the way open and go with the grain, right? And this right here is going to give it that nice, smooth, polished look. And this is just going to smooth everything out. As you can see right here, I'm just going one open with the grain, and it's getting all those areas that I couldn't get with that 1.5 and 2 guard, and it's going ahead and grabbing those areas and just laying them down to give us a nice smooth blend. And now to go ahead and get rid of this line right here, we're going to go with our half guard all the way open, again going against the grain. And then I'm going to go ahead and close that lever just slightly since the open wasn't doing the job. So I always start open and then I'll close that lever gradually as needed, because you can always take hair off, but you cannot put it back on, you feel me? So I start off open and then right here I close that lever. And you can see as we continue to do that, that line starts to get blended out. And then I came back to my 1 guard and I'm just attacking those spots that the half guard couldn't get. And now to go ahead and get rid of that last line, I'm going to come in with my clipper closed, and then I'm going to gradually start to open that lever as I move up into the fade. So right here I'm just tapping it with my clipper closed, and then I'll open that lever just slightly. And you can see as we move up, it starts to bring this blend together. And then it's just a matter of detailing and playing with that lever and guards to get that blend as clean as possible. So I'm coming in closed and then opening it, keeping that same shape. And you can see right here what I meant when I said I wanted to drop it and keep you know, the patterning I set in place, because his waves are not the best, but you can see that if he was start to brush in that crown area, would look really nice if he had 360s going into this mid to low fade. So that's why I wanted to keep that crown area as full as possible and dropped it towards the back. And at this point I'm staying real patient with it, just continuing to work you know, with my clipper. And now I grab my babbleless, and I like to detail with my babbleless clippers because the lever opens up a lot wider than like the magic clips do. So I'm able to go higher up into the fade using my corners, which is what I'm doing right here. So I'm using the corner of my clipper to get into those areas where I used the 1.5 1 guard, and to get into those dark spots that I couldn't get out with the actual 1 guard, right? But right here I came in with my 1, and I'm just trying to detail this blend as best as possible. I'm gonna dust it off, and you can see we did just a little bit of detail and that blend is already looking tough. But now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the other side, and we're gonna follow the same exact system as we did on the side that I just showed you guys. So I'm coming in with my clipper all the way open, setting in that first guideline, and then I'm gonna go right above that with my 1 guard open. So the system I used for this cut was I went ahead and set in all my guidelines first, and then I blended down, right? So I went bald, open, 1 open, 2 open, and then from that 2 open I went ahead and blended down. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm at the 2 guard open step, and I'm trying to blend into the waves as best as possible right here, coming off the shape of his head, trying not to dig into that parietal ridge too much to where it just looks like, you know, shaved up into waves. So, and then right under that 2 guard open, I'm following up with the 1.5, just like I did on the other side, and we're gonna go ahead and blend down from right here. But to get off track for a second, if you guys are involved in any way, shape, or form with the barber community, especially on Instagram, this past weekend we have a barber versus Instagram page, right? And that is where Angel Raws and Papito Blessed Hands actually battled. And the fun was actually after the battle when Chris Basio, 360 Jeezy, and some other big names went live and just started calling out other barbers, you know what I mean, to compete. And I wanted to get you guys' opinion on how you guys felt about that whole situation, that whole ordeal with the barber versus, because personally I love the idea, I love the competition, as long as it is done in a way that is like respectful, right? I don't want to get super disrespectful to other people. If it is done in a way that has good sportsmanship, I'm completely down for it. I will battle anybody, you feel me? It would just be a dope experience. But I wanted to get your guys' opinion on the whole situation and see how you guys felt about it. And if there's anyone that you would like to see me battle, go ahead and drop a comment and tag them in this video, because listen, I would be down to battle anybody. I have confidence in myself, you know what I'm saying? So again, comment what you guys feel about that whole situation. I think it's dope for the barber industry, and just to go ahead and stir us back up, get us out of that COVID mentality where we're just stuck in the house, right? And get things shaking. So and right now I'm in the detail portion of the fade on this side, so I'm coming in with my Babyliss using the corner of the blade to get into those dark areas. And now we're gonna go ahead and get into the lineup. So with the lineup, I like to go ahead and lower it just slightly. So I'm coming in with my one guard open with the grain and just tapping the hairs at the end of the hairline. And now to go ahead and prep the hairline, we're gonna go ahead and put some barber saw on the skin and hairline area, and then we're gonna apply a warm towel, right? And now what this barber saw is gonna do is strip the skin of any oils and open up the pores. So when we come in and dry it with our blow dryer, we're gonna have a nice clean crisp line, right? And I just added the hand massager on top of it just because it's a relaxing experience that the clients really enjoy. So that's what I'm doing right here. And now we're gonna use our towel to go ahead and wipe away any excess barber saw. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry his hairline downwards with cool air because I don't want to make my client super sweaty. And this just stripped the skin of any oil. So now when we come in with our liner, we have a nice clean crisp line. So I started in the middle of his hairline, and then I'm gonna move to either the right or left side, whichever one I feel more comfortable with. So right here I'm moving towards his left, getting it as crispy as possible while keeping it as natural as possible, right? And I'm lining up his box area right here, and you can see already what the line is doing, taking that blend to another level. And now we're gonna go ahead and apply some color enhancement, and I'm just gonna apply it very lightly, keeping it as natural looking as possible. And I'm just gonna fill in those imperfections on his hairline, those lighter areas, and just take it to a whole nother level. And you can see, boom, right here, that blend looks crazy, the lineup is crazy. And now we're gonna go ahead and do it on the other side. And you can see that little cowlick, it kind of leaves a gap in his hairline right there. We're gonna go ahead and fill it in. You want to keep it natural looking, not super painted on. And you can already see it's just like a whole night and day difference when you apply the color enhancement. It just allows the client to feel his best. And now we're gonna follow it up with the razor. You want to make sure that you're stretching the skin and just getting all those hairs that the trimmer could not get, and you're just gonna go ahead and get it with the razor, right? And this is a dope technique to go ahead and get rid of all those loose hairs that kind of stick up on the top. So I put my razor and my comb on, my razor on top of my comb, and then I follow it downwards with the grain of the hair, and that'll just get rid of all those hairs that's sticking up. And now we're gonna go ahead and apply some oil sheen, get it nice and shiny, and that nice finished polished look. But my man came in looking a little bit rough, so we went ahead and got them together. We put a nice mid drop fade on them with the 1.5 with the grain. Family, thank you for clicking on this video. I pray that this added value to you in some way, shape, or form. If you haven't already, please go hit that like and subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this cut. And follow me on Instagram, where I have a lot more dope content and things of that nature, right? But family, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all next time.